Welcome to The Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
Happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Lock Shop. And boy, we've done The Lock Shop from a bunch of different places. I'm all over Canada with CFL. Huss, you were in Saskatoon, Winnipeg, obviously, but we've never done it from Doha, Qatar. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, the Lock Shop has gone international right now. Listen, I'm living the dream right now, dude. I wish you were here. It's been a crazy couple days. I know we like to make fun often on Winnipeg Sports Talk. I felt Paul Maurice was always talking about time zones before the team even left. And, you know, we'd say, oh, you know, come on, it's 1 hour. Well, this 11-hour time difference and the full 24-hour flight has completely screwed up. However, we're now sort of getting settled right now. We're getting ready for this Canada game against Belgium. And I've got a chance to head down to the fan festival. Took in the Saudi Arabia-Argentina game, one of the shocking upsets. Jake and I, by the way, I'm not sure if you saw the odds on that. Saudi Arabia to win pre-game was plus 2,600.
Oh, man.
To 1. By the numbers, it's got to be one of the biggest upsets in recent World Cup history. So we're taking it all in. Really cool to see people from all around the world here. And, of course, we're focusing in on Alfonso and the boys returning our country to the world stage for the first time since 1986, going up against Belgium. And what a great sports week. We got Thanksgiving Day, NFL football, and, of course, the World Cup going on, not to mention NFL or the National Hockey League, NBA, and everything else going on right now. So it's good times right now. And as I said, this is a wild cultural experience and hopefully a great sporting experience when we see the red and white get out there.
Well, and that should be good. And that's why we're dropping this episode early on Wednesday. So you're going to get our NFL picks for Thursday, because by the time we get to kick off on Thursday, we would have not had our lock shop like we usually do. So we're going to give you all of our picks for the NFL this week. But we're going to start, actually, because the game's at, noon Edmonton time. When does it start over there? What time does it start?
10 p.m. 10 p.m. kickoff.
The late game.
We got the late game, 10 p.m. So we'll be, and by the way, folks, make sure you're following at Coolbet Canada on Instagram and Twitter, and myself at Hustlerama. We will have plenty of pregame video. The stories will be popping. We're going to be planning on hooking up with all the voyageurs, which are the Canadian soccer supporters, for the march to the stadium. Be interesting to see how many people are going to be there for that. It really is going to be fun. So if you want to sort of get a feel of what it's like to be at this event, check out those socials. We'll try and crank out as much as we can. Hey, just quickly before we get to the picks, multiple Barry Horowitzes are in effect right now. Great week. First of all, 6-0. I know you were traveling yesterday, so we weren't able to do a live Lock Shop show as normal, but we did. We were asking people wanted the picks. Well, we served up a 6-0 night, perfect for Monday Night Football, and a great week. I got another 3-1, now 29-15 against the spread. And you, my friend, banged out 2 5-1 parlays on the weekend.
Yeah, that was big. That was big.
Huge weekend for the Lock Shop.
Yeah, we had a great weekend for the Lock Shop. I think I was on a Travis Kelce TD as well, and that cashed. My other TD score cashed as well, so both touchdown scores, plus the plus 575 and plus 535 parlays, and only one loss. I was 2-1-1 because I got the Bears at 3, and you locked them in the night before at 3.5, which is a major reason why you watch these lines and get it when you like the number that you want, right? Or adjust it to the number that you want. We'll talk about that a little bit today as well, Huss. So yeah. Coming in hot. Oh, and because I did the fantasy football podcast without you last night, and I don't know if you bailed on that simply because I beat you by almost 100 points in our head-to-head matchup this week. It was like 203 to 112.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I know you sent me during the Grey Cup.
Yeah.
I'm sweating out the Bombers. RIP, and thanks for not bringing that up, and I guess I brought it up right now. And all of a sudden, I get this text with Jake, and again, it's 4:30 in the morning here in Qatar. We've been here for 5 hours. We're here. We're jet lag watching the game. And I get this, just an image, no text or anything. And it's just the screen cap of Dusty taking me to the woodshed in the fantasy league. I think at that point it was 149-42. But I would like to say thank you, Patrick Mahomes. This guy has improved my life in so many ways. And even in my darkest hour, after the crushing, heartbreaking loss of the Bombers in the Grey Cup, he goes and did what he did on Sunday night. That was absolutely phenomenal. And as I said, I did need the -5.5 for to cash another parlay, which was +615, had the first 2 legs in. But considering the way the previous 24 hours had gone, I was just happy with the win. So anyways, it was wild. And I mean, man, what a thriller of the Grey Cup. And I missed the partying with you guys. I can tell you the Grey Cup is probably a little crazier when it comes to the extracurriculars than the World Cup, at least here in Qatar. But that looked like it was a great time. Hell of a game. Great game for the Canadian Football League. And shout out to the Argos for getting it done.
Yeah, it was a fun game. I didn't even make it to the party that I was supposed to go to after Grey Cup. I stayed at the first party that I was at because it was so much fun. So, classic Grey Cup story. All right, Huss. So later on today, Canada-Belgium, and this is so tough because you want to bet for our country, you want to bet for our nation, and I couldn't go against them overall in the game. But I am going to go Belgium 1-0 halftime score +275. I mean, Canadian group. Guys have not been there before. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't blame them at all. Now, they're also a group that's going in here as a huge underdog with nothing to lose. I mean, I get it. I understand that. But I know, I feel like, might be a little nerves here early on for Canada. And Belgium's obviously a group that's got a lot on the line here, considering a lot of people view it as the final sort of run with this group that they've had together for the last 6 to 8 years. I think they start well in this tournament. So I'm going to go Belgium leading 1-0 at half at +275, which still opens the door for everything you're bringing to the table as well.
Yeah, hey, positive vibes only here in Qatar for Team Canada as we go in. I'm not even considering anything to do with Canada not winning or not being in, but for this matchup, a draw would be an incredible result for Canada.
Huge.
That is sort of what we're pulling for, and that is what I'm on. And man, you got a nice number at +345. And as I said, I took in the Fan Fest, the Saudi Arabia upset of Argentina. If the Saudis can beat the Argentinians, why the hell can't Canada beat anybody in our group as strong as it is? But let's go with the draw at +345. And I am going to take the Canada over 0.5 goals. Canada score a goal. It's never happened before in the World Cup. I'm pretty confident we will see in person the first ever goal for Canada in the World Cup, -152. And just a note, I saw James Duthie tweet this out a little earlier. The Belgian manager has confirmed that star striker for Belgium, Romelu Lukaku, not playing against Canada. So maybe that's a nice little boost for the Canucks going up against the Belgians.
Certainly can't hurt, right? Not having Lukaku around? No. Come on.
No, listen, De Bruyne will be there. I mean, they do have a number of world-class players, and they've been a top-ranked team for a number of years. It's an incredible challenge for Canada, but a great way to come back. And, hey, what better way to announce that Canada is, in fact, a soccer country than going toe-to-toe, head-to-head with one of the best countries in the world? Let's go with the draw +345, and let's see Canada's first ever goal at the World Cup at -152 at Coolbet. Well, by the way, as far as this, I was just going to say, Jake and I are banging out the Doha double, so y'all know where the Lock Shop Partner Parlay is. Check the exclusives on a daily basis. We will have one up. When you're watching this by this time, we probably will have a Doha double up for the game. We might actually focus exclusively on the Canada-Belgium game. So it's all there right now, and we've actually had a pretty nice start so far with the picks at the World Cup. Really turning into soccer guy, Dusty. I will say that.
Look at you. You have this Canadian soccer shirt. You're full-blown soccer guy right now, which is great. By the way, leading up to kickoff of this game, when the things get rolling here, when this thing starts, a scarf too. You are a soccer guy.
You see it right there? Now you're going to believe
Qatar.
Us. We're going to Qatar. Shout out to the Voyageurs who hooked me up with this one. Yeah,
great looking. But I was going to say, there's going to be like 900 different things you can bet on for this game. So we're giving you picks on 3 things. You can go find like 897 other things to bet on. So there's a lot over there at Coolbet. And hey, if you're watching for the first time, coolbet.com, sign up for an account, use the code LOCKSHOP. You get 100% deposit bonus on initial deposit up to $200. Okay, now we got to flip over because we've got some football that we need to get to as well. Huge day on Thursday in the National Football League. And when you're watching this on Wednesday, we wanted to make sure we got our picks in for you so we didn't miss the early game or anything like that as well. And well, we're pretty much on the same page here on Thursday, aren't we, Huss?
Well, I can't remember who the lock shopper was that said, if Dusty and Huss agree, it's a bet for me. Let's ride, everyone. Oh, and we mentioned all the parlays and the picks. We didn't mention that the partner parlay came through again.
We also hit the partner parlay.
And I hope, I mean, considering we weren't really planning this, but considering we do our picks independently, considering we're riding on the same numbers, we're going to talk to Uncle Patty and see if we can get this sucker thrown up in the Lock Shop exclusives as well. So look for a special Turkey Day Thanksgiving Lock Shop partner parlay. And well, we're going to go through the picks right now. These will be the picks on them. And maybe we'll see if we can get a nice number in the Cool Bet exclusives. Should be a
number. 3 spreads, right? No money line. Straight up just roll with what we got here. I think it'll end up being a pretty good number. I'll make sure Pat gets that taken care of. Uncle Patty never lets you down, right? Absolutely. I know some other uncles will let you down, be a little weird at times. Uncle Patty's not one of those guys. We got you taken care of. All right, so let's start with Buffalo. I don't think my guys can play with these guys right now, Huss. It's as simple as that. 9.5. 9.5. I couldn't justify it even for my own team. I just couldn't do it. I think they're going to be in trouble here.
Hey, listen, it's a short week for both teams. And first of all, shout out to the Lions. I mean, they came up. I mean, they were one of my picks last week. We were wondering, man, they're only 3-point underdogs on the road against the Giants, who have that great record. Damn right, they went in and won that game outright. They've had, a nice run. They've now won 3 games in a row. And if you look at the Lions' schedule the rest of the way, this is probably a scheduled loss. They could easily win 3-4 more games considering the teams that they've played. I don't think it's happening this. I mean, it is a tradition. Turkey, booze, football all day, and the Lions usually getting it served to them on Thanksgiving Day. And I kind of think that is going to happen. And to be honest, not the Lions' fault at all, but I think there's a bit of an advantage for the Buffalo Bills, who just played the Cleveland Browns in this same stadium back on Sunday. So I think they'll be ready to go. And I think that they will really look. I mean, they see what's happening around the AFC. Look at what's happening in their division right now. I mean, they need to go up, have a great game, and maybe get into an extended early break and a nice long weekend with a big win. Listen, the Detroit defense, it has been better over the last little bit, but they're moving up a weight class, going up against Josh Allen and the Bills. They know, it's a huge game for all teams to be playing on national television on Thanksgiving in the United States. And let's not forget, what Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are doing right now. Not only are they trying to keep pace when it comes to the number 1 seed and their own division, but I think this is going to be a great opportunity for Josh Allen to make a statement that before everyone correctly gives Patrick Mahomes the MVP, he's making a few statements. So I do think Buffalo wins this game by double digits. It is a big number to lay on a home or a road favorite, but I think in this situation, Buffalo is the pick. And wouldn't it all be surprised if this maybe even gets to 10 by kickoff? So I'm glad we're doing these picks a little bit early and maybe getting a couple better numbers.
Yeah, 9.5. I think the most important thing here, and we all know that, Detroit's not in this class. Buffalo needs this game, right? Like, this is an opponent that they should crush, and they need this football game. This is not one of those spots where they'll take them lightly because they're comfortable right now. They're battling for, you said, the conference, obviously, with what the Chiefs are doing, but they're battling for the division, and not just with one other team. Like, that division they need this. They got to have this. I think you're going to see a very brilliant performance from the Buffalo Bills. So I'm pretty comfortable with the 9.5. Giants, Cowboys, also a 9.5 number, which actually surprised me a little bit, Huss.
Well, hey, what was it? Week 3, week 4 on Monday Night Football. The Giants lost their first game at home to the Dallas Cowboys, and Dallas has been pretty good. They've had that. I still can't believe they cost me the 4-0 week, blowing that 14-point lead 2 weeks ago. When you saw the beating that they put on the Minnesota Vikings last weekend in the Twin Cities, I was traveling, so I didn't see quite a bit, but obviously I didn't need to see much. It was an absolute thrashing, putting up a 40 spot on Minnesota, and we'll get to the Vikings in a minute with their game in the nightcap against the New England Patriots. These teams play close games, and I do think that the Giants have a bit of a response after a pretty disappointing game at home against the Detroit Lions, which they lost, a very costly loss for a team that, has aspirations of being a playoff team. For Dallas' side of things, I think this number is it's frankly too high. And I think it's a bit of an overreaction to the fact that they laid one on the Vikings the way they did last week. Do I think the Cowboys win this game? For sure.
Yeah, me too.
But we've seen these NFC East games. I mean, the Monday nighter 2 weeks ago with the Commanders going in and breaking up the Eagles' perfect season was a great example of it. This is a huge number to lay for a division game inside the NFC Beast. I think the Giants can hang around in this game. I think it'll be a game that goes into the fourth quarter with at least the spread being in the air and, going one way or the other. Certainly, I know I just picked the road favorite of 9.5 in the last game. But overall, in games like this, underdogs have been paying this year. And I do like the Giants to keep this one a 1-score game, which is essentially all we need. 9.5. Take the points with the Giants on the road in Big D.
Yeah, 9.5 when I saw it. I thought, man, that's a pretty big number for an in-division game. And the Cowboys, I think you nailed it on the overreaction to the 37-point win over the Vikings. I just don't see them. I think that game blew me. That was the one game I got wrong this week was the Vikings. I thought the Vikings at home would put in a much better effort there against the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm on the Giants, in-division, big game. Prior to that disappointing loss to the Lions, the Giants only had one loss in the last 6 weeks, and it was to a pretty good Seattle team. So not that their schedule's been great, but I think they're a good enough football team to hang around in this game and cover that 9.5. And then we got a bounce back spot here for the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, if you believe in this team got a wake up call last week, they got a wake-up call big time against the Dallas Cowboys. Now they get the New England Patriots, an offense that certainly doesn't do a lot of damage. I think this is a really nice bounce back spot for the Vikes here, Huss.
Well, for sure. And I'm stunned that the line is what it is. I mean, this is basically either 3 or 2.5. I'll just quickly lay this out. Right now, as we do this, 3 is basically even money at -102. If you like the Patriots, it's -115 to take the 3. But it's only -118 at 2.5. And, we've often at times, taken basically things at 118 or less, sort of been the limit where we're putting in on the picks. So I think that this could be a 3-point game. And if that's the case and we're on the right side, we're winning instead of pushing. So I don't mind getting -118, paying a little bit more for the half point in this. In fact, I think it gives us good value. And this is something that's helped us cash a few tickets and a couple partner parlays so far this year. So I think this is the way to go for it. Yeah, you're exactly right. The Vikings were absolutely humiliated last week. And for all the people that have been saying, oh, let's see what happens when they play somebody. Well, they went in and beat the Bills, and then they face planted at home. It's a long season. That happens. I'm not willing to erase everything that they've done up until this point. Although I will say, I think this is the first 8-2 team in NFL history to have a negative point differential. They have gotten thrashed in 2 games and won 8 pretty close games. But here we are. The Vikes, or the Patriots, I should say, put up 3 points offensively against the Jets last week. They won on the only successful punt return for a touchdown of the year in the final 30 seconds. What a crazy way that one went. That being said, I'm not laying my money on Mac Jones, although I do respect the Patriots defense. Wouldn't at all be surprised if this game went under the total. And I know you've got that kind of coming up in your picks right now, but Minnesota -2.5. I think that they come back. I think they win this game. But I do think that half point could be crucial. I think it's definitely worthwhile getting it at -118 at 2.5 as of our taping right now. That's what I've locked in. That's what I have bet right now. And I think that'll help us, hopefully, if we're going into the night game with wins in the Buffalo and Giants game, if we're trying to cash that partner parlay at whatever number we get from Uncle Patty.
New England's won 3 in a row, and I've had them in my best bets a few times here. But their 3 wins, 2 were against the Jets, and 1 was against the Colts. So they haven't really been playing a who's who as of late. Minnesota Vikings, if they're anything close to the 8-2 team that we see now, they should be able to take care of business here. We usually pick a total on Thursdays, so we decided to at least do 1 total still. And I'm on New England under 20.5 at minus 132 for my total. Decided to go team total. And Huss, you're on a game total here.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Bills Detroit. This is a massive number, and I'm going to still take the over on it because I think that the Bills are going to put up 38, 40 points in this game. And I still think that Detroit will probably score a little bit. We've seen a bunch of backdoor covers by Detroit. They've got a lot of pride. They will not quit. That's one thing I'll say about the Lions. And if the Bills do get up quite a bit, and especially earlier into the second half, I still think that there'll be points. I think Detroit will continue. So this was tough. I mean, I'm really focusing more in on the spreads, and that's what we're going to have in on the partner parlay. And that's sort of where I really focus in on the picks. But, of everything there, I thought about the under in the Minnesota New England game. But hey, let's kick things off with some fireworks in Motown.
Yes.
Let's take the over 54.5 Buffalo, Detroit. And, at least that'll make fantasy players happy regardless of what happens in the game.
Big fantasy day. Big fantasy day on Thursday. Once again, watch for that partner parlay. Cool Bet exclusives. You'll find it there for Thanksgiving. We hit the one on Sunday. I guess we delivered a bunch of parlays on Sunday that hit when it was all said and done. So that was nice.
Dude.
6-0 on Monday Night Football. So yeah, let's keep this thing rolling. That would be great. Maybe Canada can deliver a draw here against Belgium, which go a long way. What we need is Belgium to be at 1-0 at a half, Canada to score in the second half, and that's a 3 for 3. So fingers crossed on that one.
I'll tell you what, I would happily lose the
to get the win
without unequivocation if somehow we could get 2 and win that game right now. But I think considering our situation going into the World Cup in our first matchup, a draw would be incredible. This is a heart bet right now. But hey, as I said, I watched Saudi Arabia today beat Messi and Argentina. If the Saudis can beat Argentina, Canada can beat anybody, including the Belgians. Let's go Reds.